is Jonah Holmes, and today I'll be giving a speech about how notifications can be taking control of your life and how we can stop that one step at a time. Here with me is my listener of the speech, and here we go. Imagine trying to study, sleep, or even have a meaningful conversation while your phone interrupts you every few minutes. Sound familiar? Of course it does. For most of us, those little alerts have become the background noise of our lives. They pop up when we're in class, when we're eating dinner, when we're supposed to be resting, and even when we're trying to focus on something important. And when they may seem harmless, what if I told you those tiny interruptions are quietly draining your attention, your peace of mind, and even your relationships? Now, why should you care? Well, the average person receives hundreds of notifications every single day. That's hundreds of tiny distractions pulling us away from what we're doing, nudging us to check our phones, and breaking our concentration. And here's the kicker, those alerts aren't random. They're designed to grab your attention. Companies know what the companies know that the more time you spend on your phone, the more money they make. So they engineer notifications to be more irresistible. But what does that even mean for us? It means our focus, our mental health, and even our ability to connect with people face to face are being hijacked. I'll be honest, I struggled with this myself. As a student, I felt the constant pull of my phone. I've lost hours of study time because I couldn't resist checking just one alert. I've stayed up late nights scrolling when I should have been sleeping. There goes an alert right there. I've stayed up late scrolling when I should have been sleeping, and I've caught myself half listening to friends because my phone buzzed in my pocket. That's when I started researching how notifications affect our brains, and what I found was eye-opening. Today I want to share that with you. My goal is simple: to persuade you that smartphone notifications are harming your focus, your mental health, and your relationships, and encourage you to take back control. So here's the plan. First, I'll show you how notifications sabotage your ability to concentrate. Second, I'll explain the psychology toll that they take on your minds and emotions. And finally, I'll share simple, practical steps you could take to reclaim your attention. Let's start with focus. Notifications sabotage our ability to concentrate. Think about the last time you were really in the zone. Maybe writing a paper, studying for an exam, or even just reading a book. You were locked in, your brain was firing, and you felt productivity. Now imagine your phone buzzing. You glance at it, even just for a second, what happens? You lose your train of thought, you have to restart, and restarting takes time. In fact, research from the Harvard Business Review shows that push alerts interrupt deep work and reduce productivity by up to 40%. 40%. That's almost about half your focus gone. Not because you're incapable, but because your phone keeps pulling you away. And here's the thing, it's not just the time you spend checking notifications, it's the mental cost of switching tasks. Psychologists call this the attention residue. Every time you shift your focus, a little bit of your brain stays stuck on the previous task. So even if you put your phone down, part of your mind is still thinking about that text, that email, or that social media notification. Multiply that by hundreds of notifications a day, and you can see why it feels impossible to concentrate. Notifications increase anxiety and reduce emotional regulation. But it's not just about productivity. Notifications also affect your mental health. According to Psychology Today, frequent alerts trigger stress responses in your brain. Every buzz is like a tiny alarm, telling your body something alert is happening, telling your body something urgent is happening, even when it's not. Over time, this keeps your nervous system on edge, making it harder to relax, harder to sleep, and harder to regulate your emotions. Think about it. How many times have you felt anxious because you hadn't checked your phone in a while? Or relentless because you were waiting for a reply? That constant anticipation, waiting for your next ping, keeps us in a state of tension. When we're tense, we're less patient, more irritable, and less present in your relationships. Instead of enjoying dinner with friends, we're half listening, half scrolling. Instead of winding down for bed, we're jolted awake by a late night alert. Notifications don't just steal our focus, they steal our peace. Now, we can take back control with small, intentional changes. Now, here's the good news. We're not powerless. Experts recommend simple, intentional changes that can make a huge difference. Start by disabling non-essential notifications. Do you really need to know every time someone likes your photo? Probably not. Next, use do not disturb mode during study sessions or while you're asleep. That way you control when your phone talks to you or the other way or and not the other way around. And finally, schedule screen-free time. Maybe it's dinner with friends. Maybe it's the hour before bed. Maybe it's your morning routine. Those little breaks give your brain a chance to recharge. And let me be clear, I'm not saying you should throw away your phone. Notifications aren't evil. They can be useful, reminders, alarms, alerts. But when they're constant, they become harmful. The key is to balance. By making small changes, you can reclaim your attention, reduce your stress, and strengthen your relationships. With that being said, let's wrap this up by saying smartphone notifications are silently draining your focus and mental health. We've seen how they disrupt productivity, how they increase anxiety, and how simple changes can help. Remember, the constant buzzing I mentioned in the beginning, you have the power to silence it and reclaim your peace. Here's my challenge to you. Tonight before bed, turn off just one notification. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's an email, maybe it's a game. Just one. See how it feels. You might be surprised at how quiet and how clear your mind becomes. And tomorrow, when you wake up, notice how much more present you feel. That's the power you take control. Because at the end, notifications aren't just about technology. They're about your time, your focus, and your relationships, and your mental health. Don't let your phone decide how you live. Break free from notification addiction and give yourself the gift of attention. Thank you.